President Trump is actually contemplating giving Sean Diddy Combs a full presidential pardon ahead of his sentencing in October, according to a Deadline report. Back in May, Trump teased the idea of pardoning him in an Oval Office gaggle.
You mentioned once in 2012 that Diddy was a good friend of yours. Would you ever consider pardoning him?
I don't know. I would certainly look at the facts. If I think somebody was mistreated, whether they like me or don't like me, it wouldn't have any impact.
You shot straight, but you shot late. Hi, Lem. This is the Rundown Podcast.
I'm gonna give you the rundown.
That was before Combs was found partially guilty in his high-profile 2-month trial earlier this month. Now, Deadline reports an administration source has told them that the president is, quote, seriously considering pardoning the disgraced rap mogul. Combs had faced a possible life sentence if convicted on the top charges at the trial in Manhattan federal court that revealed his twisted preference for freak-offs, grueling fuel in which he watched his girlfriend with male. While prosecutors were hoping he would be convicted of federal and racketeering, the jury only found Combs guilty of 2 counts of breaking the Mann Act, a federal law making it a crime to transport someone across state lines for. Other insiders have told Deadline that the verdict has since turned the idea of Diddy receiving a full presidential pardon from, quote, just another Trump weave to an actionable event. The White House said it will not comment on the existence or non-existence of any clemency request, according to a response from an administration official contacted by Deadline. The 55-year-old could spend a maximum of 20 years behind bars, or 10 years for each count on which he was convicted, but is likely to receive far less time under federal sentencing guidelines that take into account a defendant's criminal history and other factors. He is more likely to face somewhere between 15 months and 5 years, the range that both sides will eventually haggle over. Combs, who has maintained his innocence, has been behind bars since his September arrest. He remains at Brooklyn's hellish Metropolitan Detention Center until the October 3rd sentencing. The judge denied Combs' bid to be released on the grounds that he was acquitted of the most serious charges in the case, citing that he posed a danger to the community considering copious testimony about his violent temper. The trial featured sensational testimony from 34 witnesses about Combs' penchant for freak-off marathons, including his ex-longtime girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, and another former gal pal who testified anonymously. The pair told jurors about how the Bad Boy Records founder got them and then forced them to have during baby oil doused sessions that sometimes lasted for days. They alleged that Combs watched himself and filmed the and sometimes after threatened to release the footage to pressure the women to continue partaking in his staged fantasies. Speaking from the bench after the July 2nd verdict, Judge Samramian said, "It's impossible for the defendant to show he poses no danger to any person." Prosecutors said they'll likely push for a prison term between 51 and 63 months, while Combs' camp will be asking the judge to release him on time served.
Say man, hey man, it's OG Jucario. Now back at you with another one. And that boy Sean Combs, the diddler, might have diddled his way out of this one, you guys, because y'all president, Donald Trump, that's right, he's planning and he's heavily weighing in on giving the diddler, right, a full presidential pardon. And this is ahead of the convicted Bad Boy Records founder's sentencing later this year, and nearly 2 months after Trump publicly entertained the notion of a Diddy pardon in an Oval Office gaggle. A comprehensive get-out-of-jail card for Combs is being seriously considered, okay, in quotation marks, right? Wow, yikes, wowzers. How does the victims feel about that, you guys? And how does everybody that was hating on Diddy, right, had so much to say about him? How do they feel about this? Wow. And they're saying that an administration source tells Deadline that this is definitely in full effect. Diddy could definitely get this pardon from Trump. And additionally, as several associates of the much accused and currently incarcerated rap mogul, the All About the Benjamins performer, had been pitching the White House Other insiders confirmed the topic has leveled up from just another Trump weave to an actionable event. Okay, so they're steady hyping up this notion, this talk of pardoning Diddy, you guys. Yikes. Now check this out. It says that right here, since Combs was found partially guilty in the New York City trial earlier this month, this is why they're considering this. He was found not guilty of that trafficking, all right, but he was found partially guilty on the Mann Act, violating 2 acts of that, right? And of course, as a number of parties attest, this being the roller coaster of Trump world, any decision on a Combs pardon is in flux until POTUS, President of the United States, actually puts his signature on the paper. Wow. Now, we heard about this, and as you heard Trump commenting on that in the beginning of the video, right? Yeah, man, this thing could definitely, happen with Diddy getting a full presidential pardon, and he won't have to serve any of the time that he has remaining, okay? And they still might consider the time he's already served as a, get out of jail free card as well for his trouble, because he's been locked up all this time. And they kept denying this billionaire the $50 million bond that he was willing to, put up several times. But, they kept denying old Diddy. So could Trump come in and say, hey, man, I don't care what this guy said about me. Yeah, I heard what he said. But this is a good friend of mine. And now we're going to see how this works with people of affluence and wealth, okay? No matter how, nasty they talk about each other, how evil and spiteful they are with words to each other. But just watch their actions. They're dishing out cash, right? To get Diddy's ass, no pun intended, up out of that federal prison. That's right, you guys. Now let's continue with the article. Repeatedly denied a $50 million bond. See, I just spoke on that. And released from Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center since his arrest last September. Combs could end up spending 2 to 3 years in federal prison upon his sentencing in October. And that's on October the 3rd to be exact, by Judge Aaron Someranian. Any sentence certainly would include time already served by Combs. Even with that, and the Fed seeking the maximum under sentencing guidelines, an appeal is widely expected to be launched by the 10-attorney deep defense. Wow, didn't know that. Did y'all know that? That boy got 10 attorneys. He's 10 attorneys deep in his defense almost immediately after sentencing occurs. Wow. Yikes. And contacted by Deadline, Combs' defense team led by Mark Agnifilio and Tini Gorado had no comment on any pardon talk for their client. Of course they don't. They don't want people to know this, right? While a number of individuals close to Combs, both personally and professionally, have been active in seeking White House recourse for the Grammy winner, the defense team itself has no significant participation in the process. Up on 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, the reply was that the White House will not comment on the existence or non-existence of any clemency requests, according to an administration official. With a damning verdict from the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York delivered by a federal jury July 2nd, after an 8-week ex-trafficking trial, Combs escaped the most severe of the criminal charges he was facing. Even before the mixed verdict came in, Trump exclaimed May 30th that when it came to a Diddy pardon, he would certainly look at the facts and if he thinks somebody was being mistreated, whether they like me or don't like me. So this is what Trump said. And this was before the verdict came. Once big on Trump, Combs became quite critical of him during the Republicans' first term and endorsed Joe Biden in 2020. Before that, Trump and Combs had known each other for decades, with the former bluntly calling the latter a good friend in 2012. Now, a little bit about Trump and Diddy's background. It says soon after hitting stardom, the often ostentatious Combs was regular on the 90s and 2000s Manhattan party and charity circuit and often came into contact with Trump, who moved in similar circles. In the season 12 premiere of The Apprentice, Trump told a reticent ex-Danity Kane singer, Aubrey O'Day, that he thought her former boss, this is Diddy that Trump is talking about, was a good guy. I'm going to stick up for him. Asserting in May of this year that no one has asked for a pardon for Combs, Trump added. I know that people are thinking about it, says Trump, as the May 12th starting trial went on. Jumping into the fray after weeks of trolling Combs on social media, Combs' arch enemy, arch nemesis, right? Curtis 50 Cent Jackson vowed to stop any pardon. Okay, and he's saying, I'm going to reach out so he knows how I feel about this guy. The Trump-friendly rap star posted on his social media on Instagram on May 31st. So, 50 Cent didn't take a liking to Trump, thinking about, considering, right? Contemplating, pondering on giving the Diddler a pardon, a full presidential pardon, as we see now. And 50, he gonna always make his opinions known to the public. So as Combs beat those most damaging charges that could have sent him away for life in prison, the Oval Office consideration of Combs' pardon has grown in recent days. And according to the Deadline report, it says they're told by multiple sources this has grown in the recent days, that, the talks of Diddy coming home, fully pardoned, could definitely happen. Now check this out. They're telling us that if they release Diddy, this could be a form of a distraction. And they're gonna, admit it right here in this article. It says the increased interest also comes as the distraction politics advocating POTUS faces an uprising by his MAGA base over the continued reluctance on the part of the Department of Justice to make public promised files. Now dead ex-offender and former Trump pal Jeffrey Epstein. Trump has even turned on enduring ally Rupert Murdoch with a $10 billion lawsuit. Wow. After the Fox News owner, man, that made my ear itch. That boy say he's suing Fox for $10 billion. Yikes. And after the Fox News owner, Wall Street Journal published a piece July 18th on the president and Epstein's friendship. A well-connected millionaire was indicted in 2019 on ex-trafficking charges and more involving underage women, as a point of contention for some who disbelieved the official UAI conclusion. Epstein died suddenly in custody in New York before his trial could begin. So there you have it, family. If they do let Diddy out, they just told us, man, this could be a form of a distraction to, kind of distract people from the Epstein thing for a while. Get the headlines in the news talking about Diddy being free, fully presidential pardoned by Trump. So y'all get in the comment section, man, and y'all let me know what y'all think about this entire ordeal. And until the next time, this is OG Jucario TV with the latest in rap, hip hop, celebrity, and urban news. You're watching the Rundown Podcast. I appreciate everybody for spending with me. I appreciate all my subscribers for sliding with your boy every time. And say, man, hey man, keep hitting that like button, keep hitting that subscribe button, and look, turn on post notifications so we can slide whenever I get the drop. You already know what it is, man. It's deeper than Buddha, her, you hear me? And guess what? I'm gone.